Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody. This call is with Haywood and Tracy. Get in here. Sorry for the noise. Hope y'all can hear. We planned on starting this call. We're going to start around about 1 minute. So we're playing. This is first day with like the selfie stick. So we're playing with this thing. I see my selfie stick is in the top of my scene. Let's see if we can get that straightened out. You're in for a great call. We do this call weekly. And we're excited about doing it again this week. I'm going to turn this upside down, so bear with me here. You flip upside down for me? I don't like that because the camera's So we have a few people looking to join us online too. So we have a call going at the same time. Let's see if we got that. Yep. Goodness for ingenuity. Flip them around. Right there. Getting you there. Isn't that fun? Like jumping along the way, but probably not. It's probably like tripping, getting like having a good time off of it. Isn't that funny? Here we go. We're almost there.
Mastering the selfie stick.
Getting it done. Figuring out the selfie stick. Hello, aren't those some beautiful lights? How y'all like the lights around here? I love them. Getting close. Where's my selfie stick?
What do we need to do after this?
Anybody joins it? Come on. When they come on.
The music starts.
Yeah, so somebody needs to join it. I think we'll get it. Steve said he was going to join it. Welcome you all. We're playing with the selfie stick today. You're on with Tracy and Haywood. We have a few people. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, Trace.
Yeah.
That'll probably be joining us online. So you hear the background music. Hello, hello. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Good. So today we're going to be talking about happiness.
Yeah.
And by way of compassion. So Tracy and I have been working together now for a few years on finding happiness and helping other people find happiness. And we figured some things out with the help of a lot of studying and persistency. And we like sharing this. And we are gearing up for a conference we're going to do starting next week, a 3-part series, Happiness Untangled. And talk about how Tracy manages to stay so happy with her busy life as a mother of 3, and to share some things with you about being a business owner and having been a stressed, depressed 30-year-old man to a happy, excited, blissful 42-year-old man. So Tracy, where are we going today? We mentioned compassion. Where are we starting?
Yeah, well, you know, Haywood, we've had a few of these other calls, and we've talked about a lot of, I think, awesome topics that relate to happiness and leading a happier life. And last week we talked about being resilient and how being resilient helps us to lead a happier life. Happy life
through resilience.
Yeah. So I think a real nice follow-up kind of companion to being resilient is to talk to our listeners about compassion.
Hello, you all. Thank you all for coming in. You're with Tracy and Haywood. We're on the happiness call for today. We do this every Wednesday at 12:30 Central. And Tracy is taking us through, we're going to talk about compassion as a way to find happiness today. And sit back, kick back. We're going to get real with this. So we're really going to get real about how it applies in life and how you can use these practical stuff. No more pie in the sky philosophy, real actual things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. So compassion helps build resiliency, which is what we talked about last week. So I thought it would be a great follow-up topic for us to talk about today.
So when people say resiliency, what does resiliency mean? I hear that, but what does it mean?
To me, it means being able to adapt, being able to bounce back, being able to understand that maybe things aren't always perfect. We have stumbling blocks, challenges along the way, but really how quickly we can course correct, how quickly we can bounce back, is our ability to be resilient.
Resilient. So being able to bounce back. And I know we have a few people on Periscope with us. Steve just joined us on the call line. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Steve.
Can you hear us, Steve?
Maybe he's got it muted.
Hey, Steve, I know you just joined us on the line. How are you, buddy?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
We're
Hi,
awesome.
Steve. Great to have you with us today. So we're talking today about compassion.
Yes.
And compassion builds resiliency.
Yep.
And resiliency, your ability to be resilient is proven to cause people to be happier. Okay?
Yes.
The quicker you can course correct and get back on track with life, the more happier you're going to be.
Okay.
Okay? And compassion, as a companion to that, helps to build resiliency.
Okay.
But research has also shown that compassion helps people to lead healthier lives and happier lives.
Yes.
Okay, so compassion, by really stimulating the pleasure centers of our brain, it helps release feel-good hormones.
Okay.
So when we're compassionate, whether we're compassionate to ourselves or compassionate to others, it makes us feel good.
Yes.
And we've talked a lot about how our intention here is to feel good now.
So you're saying that I don't have to wait to feel good. I can just instigate or initiate compassion within myself,
Right.
and I can feel better.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we see that a lot in life, right? If you just reach out, maybe there's a cat that's stuck in a tree or a little bird that needs a hand, and they go out and they help the little bird or help the cat out of the tree, and to see them or a neighbor or a person that needs help, to just show them compassion makes us feel better.
Right. It releases hormones that makes you feel good. You feel good about yourself. You feel like you've helped to relieve somebody else's suffering.
Yeah.
And that's really what compassion is about. Compassion is, empathy is about like being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? And so compassion is being able to act on that. It's being able to see somebody suffering and then feel a desire to help.
Meredith says her son teaches her compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
kids,
awesome. They're awesome at that.
Yeah, they naturally a lot of times do it, right?
Yeah.
And, really the cool thing I think about a lot of these concepts, whether it's how to be happier or how to be more compassionate, is that we maybe all start out with a baseline of some people just are naturally more compassionate than others. Some people are naturally more happier than others. But these are things that we can learn.
Right.
They're things we can train ourselves and practice and get
now,
better.
I like to get heavy with this. Do you believe that other people are choosing to be less happy, or are they actually experiencing circumstances that make them less happy than someone else?
Yeah, that's, a tricky question, because I do feel like certain personalities, when they come into the world, have just a happier disposition, potentially, right? So for whatever reason, their personality characteristics, traits are just happier.
So they're just by nature, because they were born, their spirit was designed to be happier.
Right. Their
now,
personality.
Can that change? Do you think they get
took
stuck into it, or can you change that?
You definitely can change that.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you know?
Research shows.
How do you know?
I have changed it myself. I've seen it change in other people.
Yes.
So there's this certain baseline that we have with these things that are inherent or ingrained in our personality, but that by no means that we can't increase that baseline or change it, right? We can drag it down, we can pump it up.
So we talk a lot on these vibration in our body. Is it about vibration again?
Well, we haven't really talked about this specifically, Haywood, but I think a lot of these are virtues, right?
Yes.
And I think a lot of these virtues, whether it be gratitude or forgiveness or compassion, they instantly raise our vibration.
Okay.
They instantly cause us to be a higher vibrating energy field.
So you're kind of like me. By vibration, I mean, Steve and those of us on with us, that you feel better.
Yeah.
It seems to be some scientific proof that high energy, high energy, high vibration energy makes us feel better. It's healing, and it just lifts our spirit. And that when we feel stressed, and the hormones associated with that are heavier and denser strategies. So just by being happy, you give yourself a chance, or you lighten your load, and you give yourself more momentum to be happy.
Right. Yep, definitely. So the thing
makes a lot of sense to me. I want to just say one thing I've realized from what you're saying, both you guys, is so a lot of times when I'm having stress in my life, or things are tough, or I'm dealing with a crisis at work, or some situation at home, some inner feeling inside of me is pushing me to do something like, post something on Facebook about somebody that I was thinking about, do something nice for somebody else. I think the reason I do that is because experiences show me when I do that during stressful times, I feel better. It helps me to feel better. So in turn, that makes me better able to deal with the crisis or the stressful situation, i.e. be more resilient.
Yeah,
definitely.
Is that what we're talking about here?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's what we're talking about. And what you kind of mentioned also, at least my take on it, was even like a random act of kindness type moment as well. And all of those things, resiliency, compassion, random acts of kindness, all boost people's happiness level. And I mean, it's been scientifically proven. And so really, Haywood gets back a lot of times to feel good now.
Just feel good.
So all of these tips and tools, tricks, whatever you want to call it, are ways to help you to manage things that happen in life and to feel good right now. And that's, the next thing that I wanted to kind of lead into is
using compassion to feel good.
Yes.
Using compassion to raise our vibration.
Right.
And to be resilient with it. So another tool that we have in a way to be resilient is, if you're wondering, how do I get back in that good space? Do something nice for somebody. And
or even give yourself self-compassion.
That was going to be my point. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, like minds think alike.
Yeah.
But that we can just practice compassion towards ourselves. I'm being really hard on myself, so I need someone to practice compassion with. Practice it with myself.
Right.
And to be lighter, and to be nicer to myself, and to be really compassionate, and to turn and look at ourselves.
And a lot of times, I think, and research proves it too, that's something that's hard for a lot of us to do until we've practiced it.
Yes.
Especially, I think, in our culture, in our society right now, we tend to kind of beat ourselves up a lot and be hard on ourselves. And we tend to feel like we, need to be helping others, and we need to be go, go, go.
Yes.
And we don't stop to kind of exercise self-compassion.
Yes.
And give ourselves kind of a way out, and some understanding, and some compassion, and some self-love, right?
Yes. And one of the biggest challenges we have in putting on this call every week is how to make it succinct, because it's so related to feeling good, and just feeling good in different ways, because it seems that we were born into this world for one reason or another, with our heavy reliance on our brain, especially as we get older, and to reprogram what the brain learns. We get older and we think we know it all, or we have a great understanding of things, and using these different tools, can help us be more resilient and find ways out of our own way.
Right. Well, and I love the saying that our true intelligence doesn't reside in our brain, in our mind. It resides in our heart.
Yes.
And compassion comes from our heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going back a little bit to talk a little bit more about the concept of compassion. Okay. So compassion is recognizing that there's suffering and wanting to do something to relieve it. Okay. So a lot of times I find that I don't want to recognize the suffering.
Okay.
That I just kind of want to sweep it under the rug. I want to pretend that it's not there. So sometimes we get stuck in it and we agonize over it. And we talked about that in our talk last week with resiliency. Nursing it, cursing it, rehearsing it, kind of building a story and getting stuck in it. And then I think sometimes we also then try to avoid it, to run away from it. We feel overwhelmed by it. We want to sweep it under the rug
and just get away from it. Yeah.
All right. And really ignoring something and running away from it isn't a healthy solution either, because it's still there under the surface, simmering and kind of festering, right?
Right.
So what I love about compassion is it's acknowledging that there's suffering there, but it gives us a tool to deal with the suffering and how to kind of manage it and feel good.
Definitely.
Okay.
And I hope this is making sense to you guys in Periscope land and on the phone with Steve and all the others. So just to keep in mind, right, that we have a right to feel good.
Yes.
That we have a right to feel good, and that we control how to feel good. And that in paying attention to the pressures. So Steve, you might remember even from basketball, and Meredith, I know you're an athlete and she's out in Periscope land, that as an athlete, when we play basketball on the screen, we would fight through the pick, fight through the pressure, work through the pressure. In football, they would ask, how do you know which way the ball is going? We would use pressure to alert us to where to go and where the prize would be. So on the other side of the pressure is the basket. On the other side of the pressure is the running back. So learning to use pressure and stress and strain as a guide as to press on, to continue on, and to look for a solution.
Yeah. I want to do a quote here from Dalai Lama that fits with this that I love.
Bring it on.
If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. So Haywood, how do we practice compassion? How do we cultivate compassion in our lives?
I have a few ideas. You got one? You want to start it out?
Yeah, I've got a few. I knew you'd have a few.
Yeah.
So let's throw them out there and hopefully can help all of us to build more compassion and be more compassionate in our lives.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the tools that I love to use and I love to teach others, we have a meditation class that Haywood and I teach on Tuesday evenings.
That'll be Periscope soon too, guys.
Yeah. Is a loving kindness meditation. It's called a metta meditation. And it is something that you can do regularly or whenever you feel that need, you feel yourself suffering or you see suffering around you. It's a great tool for helping to build compassion and exercise compassion in your life.
Awesome.
Okay. So one of the first things that you do is just being mindful. Taking a step back, turning off your cell phone, putting down the laptop, and just breathing and being aware of what your body's telling you, what your mind's telling you, what you're worrying about, what you're stressing about, where you're feeling it in your body, and then also what you're sensing around you in your world.
Yes.
What's going on with people that are close to you, with issues in the world today, and where are you feeling that suffering? And just first being mindful and aware, kind of bringing it to the surface so it can be healed and addressed, right? Yeah. So the first step in the meditation would just be to sit for a moment and be mindful.
Yes.
Okay. So then the meditation's really simple, but one component of it that they usually have you start out with is exercising compassion for yourself.
For yourself.
And we've already talked about how that can be challenging for some of us to do. So I'm going to suggest we flip it around and we start conjuring up those compassionate feelings by feeling compassionate first towards a loved one. Maybe somebody that you know that is struggling, having a challenge, or is suffering in some way, shape, or form, or compassion because you feel grateful to them. They've done something loving and kind and generous for you, maybe to support you.
So again, being resilient. So I'm thinking through gratefulness, I'm thinking through compassion, people that are appreciation, to get to a sweet spot that I can set myself up to feel good.
To set the intention of compassion. So it's getting you to that sweet spot, that feeling of compassionate feelings within your heart.
Yes.
Okay. So when we go through the meditation, I'm going to flip it from what people might see or have seen in the past to put first compassion towards somebody that you love.
Let's do it. I'm fired up.
And then compassion towards yourself. Okay. And then we're going to do compassion for humanity. Okay. And this can be an interesting one for people too, because we can sometimes conjure up compassionate feelings towards people that we know well or towards ourselves, but if it's somebody that we don't maybe understand, we don't have something we feel in common with, maybe we don't identify with them, then that can be an interesting situation to feel compassionate towards. Do you ever sense
Yeah, and I think that in a way, selfishly selfless is one of my favorite terms, that practicing compassion with other people is for me.
Yeah.
It helps me.
That makes you feel good.
Right. I know that if I give compassion, so I'm really anxious about finding these moments that I need someone to be compassionate for, because as I share this compassion with them, I have to find like that mirror image inside myself, and excited about that moment and excited about that time, because it's like, wow, I thought I knew everything I needed to know. I was as happy as I can be. And I
understand that we should and can have compassion for humanity when we understand that we're all one.
I mean, this is nothing new, right? Steve, since and Meredith, I know on there, and everybody else, we've been watching television shows about lie detector tests since the 70s or 80s. So we know, or we seem to be a social acceptance that our heart has a unique beat or signature. And it changes when we're telling the truth, and it changes when we're in our truth and when we're not. So as I walk into a room with the medium, whether it's the air and mercury and nitrogen in the room, as my heart beats, it changes the gases and the energy and the particles in the air. And it's palpable. So if I enter a room with compassion in my heart, I can change, or at least contribute to the beat, the rhythm of the room. And it's not so much feeling good or acting good. And the better I feel, the more if you're happy and you know it, your heart will surely show it. So the happier I am and the more compassion I feel, the more contagious it becomes.
The more contagious it becomes. And we've all seen that. You know, maybe we haven't linked it directly to compassion, but we've all seen it when somebody has just that contagious, happy, bubbly personality, certainly, right? And we've also seen it the opposite, when somebody comes in the room and they're more negative or down or sad.
So you see that when here comes Steve, he's in that mood today.
Yeah.
Here comes Tracy, look out. Oh, there's Tracy. Hi, Tracy, honey, and a big hug. So just like how you were looking seemed approachable on the way in the door.
Right. So what impacts you impacts everybody else in turn. And what you heals everybody else.
Everybody else.
Right?
Yes.
So we are all one. And also, I think another thing that can help us to conjure up compassion for humanity, in addition to recognizing that we're all one, is just recognizing our own commonality. I mean, we all have a heart, we all have a body, we all have a mind. We all desire deep down at our core to be happy, to be loved, to have our dreams fulfilled. So, you know, there's just a general commonality amongst all of us that we can, you know, hopefully use to conjure up compassionate
Should
feelings.
We move on, or did we get, and that makes sense to you? That helped you guys? That feel good?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go through just a brief meditation. We'll call it a mini loving kindness meditation, Haywood. Okay. So what I'd like everybody to do is to put your feet on the floor, uncross your legs or your ankles if they're crossed. Sit up nice and straight and tall. Put your palms, your hands on your thighs, palms up. And I'll let you put it on you, Haywood. That'll work.
Okay.
So start out by just taking some nice, slow, deep breaths.
Just playing with your camera angle as you're getting into your meditation.
Breathe in slowly, maybe to the count of 4, and breathe out slowly to the count of 4. As you're breathing, think and become aware of how your body feels. How does your mind feel? What things are worrying you? What tightness do you maybe feel in your body today? What suffering is on your mind, and what suffering are you feeling within your body? Just bring those to the surface, bring them to your awareness. No judgment, just bring them there. Now, with your eyes closed still, just scan your surroundings, scan your environment, scan your world. What comes to mind? What suffering are others feeling that you're aware of? Are there loved ones that are suffering, having challenges, maybe with their health or their relationships, their job, their finances? What suffering are you seeing in your world? How about on a larger scale, within your community, within your city, within the world? What suffering are others feeling, and in turn, are you feeling? Bring those to the surface. Be aware of them. Don't judge them. And now we'll start with paying attention to your loved ones. Maybe bring one of your loved one to the surface. Somebody that is either struggling and suffering in some way, or somebody that has done something nice for you recently, somebody you are grateful for, and bring that person to mind. And then I just want you to repeat to yourself, and we'll maybe just repeat it to ourselves today as part of this call, maybe 5 different times. And what you're going to say is, may you be healthy and strong, may you be happy, may you be filled with ease. May you be healthy and strong, may you be happy, may you be filled with ease. Repeat that to yourself a few more times. Now we're going to work on directing that same phrase toward ourselves. May I be healthy and strong. May I be happy. May I be filled with ease. May I be healthy and strong. May I be happy. May I be filled with ease. Repeat that a few more times to yourself. Now bring someone to mind that you struggle with, somebody who's presented you with a challenge, someone that you maybe have a hard time with. Bring them to mind, and we're going to repeat the same words, directing that compassion to that person. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy. May you be filled with ease. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy. May you be filled with ease. Repeat that to yourself a few more times. Now we want to direct our attention to everyone in the universe, all humanity. Bring humanity to your mind, and we're going to repeat the same words. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy. May you be filled with ease. May you be healthy and strong. May you be happy. May you be filled with ease. Repeat that to yourself a few more times. Now ready, just wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes and open your eyes. How
Wow,
did that make
thank
you
you,
feel,
Tracy.
Haywood?
I hope that felt good for all you guys. It felt good to me.
I know for me it warms my heart. It does, for me, bring up feelings of compassion. And that's what we're really trying to do, is cultivate compassion. Compassion makes you happier. It helps your relationships, helps with your spouse, it helps with your friendships, with your kids, with your coworkers, makes you a better, happier employee. So compassion is an important tool to keep in mind to help us be happier, to help us deal with the suffering that comes along.
You're welcome, Meredith.
Living in this human existence.
I think so. I like it. And over time, to wrap it up, as we're getting close to the end again, that as we practice all these different things, it clears and changes our vibration, our energy field. So on a regular basis, where we would used to see problems or seek challenges in life, now you seek solutions. So less time is spent in these dense stress areas. And as we lessen the denseness in our life, it's a lot easier for your laughter or your smile to echo throughout your entire existence. And if there are these dark places of resentment or fear and angst that exist, then they hold down or they work in opposition to happiness. So we practice these moments of happiness to create more of a happy life, because we have happy, healthy habits.
Exactly.
Sound good?
Yep, sounds great.
So we always finish up with our laughter meditation and a little bit of a om. So we're going to go a few minutes of laughter meditation, because we just got to have it. And this is a great way to feel good, to create a vibration of goodness. And as we go, Tracy, it struck me this morning, maybe like a magnet or a lightning pole, when you wake up in the morning, to set an intention to be compassionate.
Yes.
And what it does is it then sets a vibration to remember all, like when you took us through the compassion meditation, you set this energy pole out in your life each morning that I'm going to be compassionate and giving and loving and accepting to my friends. And then your body and your energy system sets a program to remember, literally to bring those thoughts back into memory during your day. But to set a strong intention to do it sets like this magnet lightning rod in the center of your life. And to take a few minutes in the morning and the intention compassion, to intention resilience, and allow your body to go out and search for all the times you've seen it and remember it within your spirit.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Setting your intention in the morning. I would add gratitude and forgiveness that we've already talked about to that table as well. It does then impact how you handle and conduct and operate throughout your day.
Because as you're remembering stuff, then you have this magnet pulling in the positive. Even though he's a jackass, what's the positive outcome? Even though she's a pain in the butt, even though his breath stinks, how do I bring and find the best in this situation when you have that magnet set to do that for you? So we're going to laugh. Oh, thank you all very much for that. And I like to follow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, have a good one, Steve.
Thanks for being with us, Steve, and everybody else who's out there. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for being here. Have a good one. We're here every Wednesday.